It's like, imagine someone watches some fucking how to be charismatic video and they're like, oh yeah, listen, when you're talking to people, what you should do is you should make eye contact. And like, all right, yeah, I'll make eye contact, I'll be charismatic. And then they go to the shop and they're like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you having a good day? Yeah, yeah, wow, yeah, good weather, yeah. Whoa, why are you looking away? Come back here. What is Newsom saying? You know what? I might as well give him some support, you know, because people are accusing him of being a wicked Jewish crook. But
we have now reached the point where a top governor is openly saying Donald Trump has dementia.
Who do you think it is? Who do you think saying Trump has dementia? A top governor? I wonder.
This started with a simple question from Gavin Newsom to Elon Musk's Grok AI, which is like a funny little detail, by the way, in response to a clip of Donald Trump repeating once again, we're sending gallons and gallons of water to the ocean. We're just dumping. Gavin Newsom posted to his Twitter account a question asked of Grok, the AI run by Twitter and Elon Musk. Do people with dementia repeat false things over and over again? As I told you yesterday.
No, that's such a layup. He practiced this. He practiced this in a different account. He's very clever, Gavin Newsom.
Grok's answer was yes. People with dementia can repeat false statements or beliefs, a behavior often linked to memory impairments and cognitive changes. This can manifest as confabulation, where they create or repeat false memories to fill gaps in recollection, or perseveration, where they fixate on a particular idea or statement. Then Gavin Newsom posted the exchange alongside Donald Trump ranting and raving about, water and wildfires and whatever. And Donald Trump, in typical fashion, responded by referring to Gavin Newsom as Gavin Newscum, saying he's got strange hand action, which is a really weird choice given that Donald Trump's own hands have been the subject of
Wait, is he only he's only going all caps on the governor account, but not his own, not his personal. I mean, as much of a personal as it can be. Huh. He's not committed. Uh-oh.
Given that Donald Trump's own hands have been the subject of really between Trump's tiny hands as an old topic and now Trump's bruised hands. Trump's hands are the last thing I'd be talking about if I was him. And the reaction was swift. Immediately, Dementia Dawn trended as a hashtag online, and a whole bunch of nicknames were rolled out. Ancient Orange, Trumpelstiltskin, Velveeta, Voldemort. Some went darker, America's fattest pedophile. I would never do stuff like that. I mean, that's just very, very low.
Yeah, there are definitely fatter pedophiles, for sure. In America, dude.
Low-grade stuff, but there were people out there who were saying it, of course, related to Donald Trump's alleged involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to go beneath the humor because I think there's something really significant here. The hypocrisy in MAGA world on this issue isn't a bug. It's really the point. And I read a comment online that said something like, the fascist mind, the cult member mind, does not care about consistency. Arguments are just weapons. That's all it is. Well, here's what
Would you hear that, Fat? So that's what I say. I say that all the time. Wow.
All used to say about Biden. But now you're not applying it to Trump. We think that exposing the double standard matters, but they don't care about it. It doesn't make a difference. It's not useful to them to care about being logically consistent. They'll just come up with what they can come up with to attack someone they don't like. And then if the same thing would apply to a greater degree even to their guy or gal, they don't talk about it. And when their argument stops working, you drop it, you pick up something else, even if it contradicts the last thing. Trump isn't in the Epstein files. And also, he's in there because Hillary Clinton made the Epstein files and put him in there. Wait, so are you in there or aren't you? Both. Pick the one you want. It's like Mad Libs.
Where is the video of Fox News hosts getting really angry about Newsom's Twitter? Like,
Made it! This is a miracle. There is no question that there are problems in this country between police and community.
No, it's not this one. I think maybe CNN
All right,
used
look.
it.
For years, we have heard complaints that Democrats would rather keep the
It was a blonde woman. It was a blonde Fox woman. That's Richie Torres. Where's the blonde woman? This is just a CNN panel, but there should be a clip somewhere. Yeah, his wife needs to tell him to stop. Newsom. His wife needs to tell him to stop. Brian Tyler Cohen on Facebook. Okay. Driven Fox completely crazy? LA Times? Dude, wait. Why won't they just show a clip? This clip was everywhere. Where is his wife? Perino. Fucking stupid. Disgusting. Why would it be so difficult to find? Oh, wait. Let me just use... Will this do? Are we going Facebook?
Another day.
Just give me the clip. God damn it. Fuck.
To do with they're doing stealing things, rampant
It's this person.
scourge on America. But it's not just the topic of redistricting. Now that Newsom is Fox's enemy number one, everything is on the table when it comes to attacking the governor of California.
Well, the Golden State is the gold standard in a lot of things. Rampant crime, homelessness, skyrocketing cost of living, and a governor determined to stick it to the president however he can. They're now also the gold standard in unemployment. California's unemployment rate now the highest in the country at
5.5%. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? That just means unemployment in America is kind of like decent numbers all over the country. That's all that means. A staggering 5.5%. Since when in the history of capitalism has 5.5% been an issue for unemployment? Come on. Well, whatever. It's the highest in the country, you know? Is this muted?
Well, I think we all know that when the jobs numbers are bad, there's only one person to blame. The person who printed out those numbers.
Is it her?
There is
There's another
no-
blonde.
The Twitter thing.
Here
Does
is-
anyone else have a problem with Newsom's style of tweet speak?
Stop it with the Twitter thing. I don't know where his wife is. If I were his wife, I would say, "What? You are making a fool of yourself. Stop it. Do not let your staff tweet. And if you're doing it yourself, put the phone away and start over. And if you really, he's got a big job as governor of California, but if he wants an even bigger job, he has to be a little bit more serious."
He has a big...
It's unbelievable, man. Like, how can you be so fucking transparent? But I guess that's how it's like. It's a good strategy, though, because there's an issue with being. It's that stupid fucking quote that the anti-Semite calls you a thief because they delight in watching you turn out your pockets to prove your innocence. Like, it's just, you can spend the entire fucking year, you can spend 10 years turning out your pockets and be like, nah, but you have to turn it around, because otherwise you're just letting them put you on the back foot all the fucking time. You're just constantly in a state of in eternal response, right? And some people benefit that way. Like, some people who are like debunkers or whatever, they like to respond to things. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to push some offensive. And I guess the only way you can do it is not by, don't challenge their record, or don't challenge the lack of any trade deals with the tariffs or nothing, anything like that. Just apparently going all caps just throws them. That's how you do it. All caps on Twitter. What are some of the recent ones? Am I even following this account? Yeah. Governor Newsom press office. Follow, actually. Yes, I will give it a follow. Good account. No, not quotes. Caroline Levitt says Happy Labor Day. Is she supposed to be like Marie Antoinette here? I don't even... Okay. Happy Labor Day to all, including the scum that is trying to destroy our country with a sick, warped, radical mind. Killing small businesses with crazy tariffs, taking healthcare from children, pardoning J6 thugs, sending the private army to arrest grandma, wrecking our beautiful environment, defunding our schools, and destabilizing long-standing international relationships. Hopefully the United States Supreme Court and other good and compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of the monsters who want our country to go to hell. But fear not, we have made great progress in recent weeks, and America will soon be safe and great again. Happy Labor Day, God bless America, GCN. This is like one of the less offensive ones, really. Oh, she's the Hunger Games lady. I don't know popular culture. It's stupid. I've watched that film once, didn't like it that much. Like, the whistling's cool, I guess. Kid Rock. Okay.
Or something like that. And this dementia angle is stinging Trump, according to people close to him, because the dementia angle combined with the health angle, the cankles and Donald Trump's bruised hands and his swollen eyes and the entire thing, they can't seem to shake it. And even though corporate and legacy media wasn't talking about it for a while, now they are talking about it. Now, I'm regularly getting emails from people in the audience who say, David, I had an elderly relative with cognitive decline. And they would repeat the same old crap, just the way Trump does. They would speak incoherently. What Trump describes as the weave, which is the inability really to stay on topic and to actually sequentially and logically think through a topic. That's what my elderly relative did. The inability to process new information, relying on the same stories and phrases that go back decades in many cases. And it's also been pointed out that the cognitive test that Trump brags about, you would only be given such a test if dementia or brain injury were suspected, and that passing it doesn't...
Speaking of, we got our weekly blast. Maybe I should delay it because I haven't tweeted that much last week, so it might just look like an entire wall devoted to this guy. I haven't looked through his Twitter. I need to look through and see if there's anything I need to all caps. Speaking of, actually, dementia, bro, the way this guy talks, charlatan Spencer Gard is harshly criticizing charlatan Andrew Fox opposition to Israel's invasion of Gaza City. The former charlatan who falsely claims expertise in military history accuses the latter charlatan. Dude, this guy's insane. Who talks like this? It's like someone told him that repetition is key. And he's just talking. It's like but Trump isn't like this. Excess. Like there's a if you're going to use repetition, there's a way that you do it. There's like a cadence and there's a kind of placement that you do it that makes it make sense. This just looks like he's been told that. It's like it's like it's like imagine someone watches some fucking how to be charismatic video and they're like, oh yeah, listen, when you're talking to people, what you should do is you should make eye contact, and they're like, all right, yeah, I'll make eye contact, I'll be charismatic. And then they go to the shop and they're like, hey, how's it going? Yeah? You having a good day? Yeah? Yeah? Wow. Yeah, good weather? Yeah. Whoa. Why are you looking away? Come back here. He hasn't spoken about me for like 10 to... Oh, there we go. Okay. Hasbro streamer. It's about where's daddy? Oh, he's attacking Hutch. No, he's not even attacking me. Okay, nice. Apart from the Hasbro streamer bit. Okay. He's actually been fairly mute on me for a bit. Oh, he's actually including screen recordings now. Look at him go. Cute. But this isn't even trademark smile. A smile which he apparently reserves for people talking about Palestinians raped. Fuck me, dude. Oh no. Yeah, I never smile otherwise. I don't awkward laugh at like everything. Okay. Jesus. This is about Destiny, not me. What's this clip?
You're a lunatic. You're totally crazy. This is nuts. So, okay, I'm going to read more cases. I want to hear you justify it. It's kind of...
No, it seems like we don't even agree on the first one, so there's literally no point in going through.
No, we're going to go through it. 19-year-old...
No, there's no...
Oh, this is when he just wanted to go... He wanted to do this fucking... And he got it from Finkelstein, where he just wants to read out all of the human rights reports claims on the March of Return. When it's like one paragraph, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy, fucking Abdul, was 50 meters from the fence. They didn't find him doing any military hostility at the time. Boom. It's like, imagine applying that to... Why would you say for like one at a time with one paragraph in the middle of a fucking like riot when people are attacking a militarized border fence? It doesn't make any sense. It's like if this guy was going for January 6th and they're like, let me see, Ashley Babbitt looked through a window, got shot. Seems very not hostile to me. Like obviously the context that she's in when she's doing this is kind of important, but okay, whatever. Stardust. Oh no. Pizza Predator. You mean Martyr Ashley Babbitt? Yep. There's not really much to go on there. He's been a bit tame the last week. Where are we on 29th now? Whatever. We'll do some other tweets before we do him again.
Mean you're fine. It just means it's not so bad you can't identify a camel in a picture book. And that's not really an accomplishment to write home about. So what I think is kind of brilliant and interesting about a governor starting to talk about this, it's not the insult. Anybody can insult. Trump's being forced into a lose-lose, because if Trump doesn't respond, we have growing consensus from high-level officials that something's going on with Trump. That's not good for Trump. On the other hand, if Trump does respond and goes, I passed a brain injury test, Gavin Newsom's wrong, it keeps the story in the news cycle. And if Trump ever tries to use it as an excuse to dodge legal trouble in the future, he imagine lawyers said, no, he was cognitively declining, he didn't know right from wrong, then he just looks like a liar. And so Democrats are often allergic to playing hardball. I can't think of many Democrats that are actually fighting right now. Newsom's fighting. Newsom's trying to redistrict in order to get Democrats more seats. Newsom's going right after Trump. Newsom's doing the dementia bomb stuff. And I think a lot of people are kind of tired of the joy and optimism that some Democrats are pushing in the face of an authoritarian movement. This is a movement that thrives on humiliating people and dominating people. And I'm pleased that Gavin Newsom is willing to throw a punch. It's rare in the Democratic Party right now. Now, in the end, whether Trump's decline is only mental.
I can't believe the liberal, democratic, dark money, progressive people are funding this guy instead of me, the guy who constantly shits on Democrats and doesn't even tell my viewers to vote for them. I can't believe that's happening, dude. Why aren't they reaching out to any of my guys, you know? Why is Denims not on Chorus Media, hey? Why don't we get that Sean the Black guy on? Why is he not on it? What? This is disgraceful.
Physical, the culmination of decades of malignant narcissism, it kind of doesn't really matter. What matters here is the emperor has no clothes, no straight line to walk, literally, Trump having trouble walking a straight line, and he doesn't even have coherent thoughts to finish. So I like Democrats pointing this out relentlessly. You can use humor sometimes. You can use bite. You can use...
Imagine selling out for the bi-weekly wage of a McDonald's employee. What, $8,000 a month was $8,000 a month to get help and do the thing that you were going to be doing anyway. What? I don't know. It seems like Chorus is a pretty good deal. Seems like they didn't really need to compromise on anything besides the Taylor Lorenz article. What are you talking about? Maybe talking about me. Oh, me. What, for Progressive Victory? What did I sell out for Progressive Victory? What did I lose by going with Progressive Victory? Is this the new camp now of the people who were calling me like a fucking Zionist since 2022? And then I started doing Progressive Victory stuff in 2024, and they're like, oh, he must have turned into a Zionist because of Progressive Victory. You know, those guys who loved talking about Israel-Palestine, that was definitely their big focus and not, Trump-Harris. Ugh. Absolutely mental. It's a really good racket. The Taylor Lorenz article is such a good racket because it's so well supported by the fact that no one understands anything about anything. Like none of these people have actually even worked a regular job, let alone a creator's job where they have to sign contracts, or no one has understood how any of these fucking interactions work. They don't understand how like media works. They don't understand anything. It just works like really, really effectively.
Snark, but that is going to make it harder for even Fox News viewers to ignore that it smells like something's rotting.
Chad Logic has joined the fray. In what sense? Taylor Lorenz? No way. There's no way he's buying that shit. Lorenz is paid by the same company. Well, careful. Lorenz is paid by a company that also funded 1630, the dark money group. So yeah, she's funded by whichever. The people who thought that 1630 were worth funding also thought Taylor was worth funding. Yeah, that's kind of how that works. Yeah, but it's also a dark money because the Media Network is connected to it's a hybrid structure. So it's got an LLC and a 501c3. The LLC doesn't have to disclose its funding, ergo it's dark money. Boom.
Here. I'm glad Newsom is doing this. Let me know what you think. There was a time when public...
Okay, well done. All the way around, 1630 funds Omidyar and Chorus. No. Omidyar... Well, it seems that for whatever reason, after getting 45 million from Omidyar, a couple of years later, 1630 gave 45,000 back to Omidyar, I guess. But yeah, it's all intertwined though. It's not even surprising because they all claim to support the same shit, right? They claim to support like media freedom and progressive causes and abortion rights and all that shit. Like, why would you be surprised that some of the same people are throwing money here and there? That's the other thing I don't get. Where is, and this would exist if it were there, okay? I'm guessing it's not there, is what's so bad about anything that 1630 have done? I'm guessing they just fund a few projects that people don't like for some reason, like 1630 projects funded. Because although their funding sources will be obscured because they are a non-profit, but the people that they fund will be transparent because that's their they want you to know who they're funding. Does anyone have that? Does anyone have a list of people who were getting funds from 1630? They probably have it on their own website. Identify a cause for incubation, project sources funding, focus areas. This is just they want affordable healthcare, climate change confronted, or maybe they're actually pro climate change. That's what that means. Wow. Strengthening democracy, progressive values and aspirations. Surely these guys have supported something that people didn't like. That's probably the issue. It can't just be because of their non-profit structure that they don't have to list every single donor, or because most of their money comes from individual big donors. Drug prices, healthcare, rural victory fund. Sounds evil to me. Yeah. I mean, Politico had the article on it as well, but I just don't. It all just seems to be. Open Secrets has a list. Recipients. Is this it? So they've supported candidates, which you can do at a state level, I believe, not on a federal level. Incumbents. Oh, maybe they supported a particular incumbent. Like, maybe they support like Cuomo or something, there'd be an issue. Or Manchin. Or Cinema. Thurman, Richie Torres. There's a few of them that would draw some ire. PAC, Future Forward, Civic Truth, Colorado, Open Democracy. I'm thinking if these guys had actually done something bad, I think it would be shown in one of these articles or even in Taylor's. But if it's just we don't know who their funders are, like, is that inherently an issue? Given that America has these structures, and it seems like a lot of nonprofits use them, like including ones that fund Taylor, rejects comparisons to the Koch network, casting its mission and model as different. Obviously, yeah. I don't know. I think the overuse of the word dark money here, like that term. I think that is probably doing like all the heavy lifting here, because let's say they had funded some cause that was like, they called themselves like a Jewish fund or whatever, like a Jewish outreach fund, and it turned out that it was actually funding like birthright trips or some shit, right? If it was doing something like that, then I think you would know about it. It would get blasted right across the fucking airspace. But there's just like, if they're just saying this is dark money, then even though the projects that they fund are open, so there can't be anything wrong with any of them, or nothing newsworthy at least. I think, again, the issue is that it's mainstream Democrat, or it's like, it's not even necessarily mainstream Democrat though, because a lot of those people on chorus are far left by American standards. They're left of the Democratic Party on a lot of these things. So it's just because they're not revolutionaries. It's because they're not socialists or River to the Sea people. It's all very, very, very goofy. Yeah, it's progressives, but that's like progressive victory as well, right? I don't know. I think people just see money going around and they're like, ooh. Don't want to dox Pakman, but he comes from a wealthy family. There's no way a YouTuber has the money he has. I don't know. If you're pulling in like, how many views a week does Pakman get? Let alone Patreon sponsors and whatever else, and all the ads and everything. David Pakman. And he's been doing this for a really long time as well. Really, really long time. He gets 60 million views a month. Bro, this guy is, if you're making 60 million views, if you're getting that many views, I mean, it's watch time that's the more important one, right? But no, fuck off. If you're, dude, if you're getting that many views a month, by contrast, when I get 1 million views in a month, like I can just take the next month off. I mean, I tend to live fairly modestly, but yeah, if I get 1 million views a month, dude, I'm fucking laughing. 60 million views. Maybe my views are worth more per view because of my long form content, like on the streams, but not even that. I'm sure your parents aren't poor if you're able to go to a good school and start a podcast in college or whatever he started it. Yeah, maybe, but again, I don't think anyone really cares about how well off his parents are. Also, I don't know if that's just like an excuse for fucking burnt out 20-somethings who don't know what they're doing with their lives. I don't know. I mean, I was raised by a single parent, so one day I'll show you guys a picture of the fucking first house that I lived in. You'll be like, whoa, I'm from the fucking ghetto, man. Okay. I don't think Trump's going to announce his own death, guys. Don't get your hopes up. Okay, sorry to drop that little harsh truth upon you. I do think he's going to talk about something to do with the Department of Defense. At least that's what Lion Levitt said. And I don't, where's this Venezuela thing coming from?
The US announced it would be sending 3 warships and some 4,500 troops to the Venezuelan coast. This sparked some anxiety inside Venezuela that Trump could be preparing for a full-scale invasion, something he's expressed an openness to in the past. And on Friday, Venezuela's acting president, Nicolas Maduro, asked ordinary Venezuelans to enlist in militias, before deploying thousands of Venezuelan troops to the Venezuela-Colombia border. So in this video, we're going to take a look at Trump's long-standing interest in invading Venezuela, and whether it could actually happen this time. In the latest issue of our magazine, Too Long, we dive deep into the current state of America, discussing our real thoughts on the state of American democracy, soft power, universities, and the countries that could steal their crown, from China to the EU. Find out more about Too Long, the End of the American Order, by clicking the link in the description. So, probably the first thing to say is that Trump has actually threatened to invade Venezuela multiple times in the past. When Trump first took office in 2017, Venezuela was engulfed in crisis. The country was suffering with a long-running economic crisis, and in January 2017, Maduro's government abruptly pulled out of a dialogue with the Venezuelan opposition and began arresting opposition politicians.
Oh no.
This sparked massive anti-government protests across the country, which escalated later in the year when Maduro announced his intention to rewrite the constitution, thus nullifying the upcoming...
Maduro's still there. I remember watching Maduro on the news when I was like fucking 18 years old and shit. Or no, it was a bit after that. No, it was wait. Maduro... Did Chavez die in 2012? Or was it later? I think it was later, wasn't it? 2013. Okay.
Presidential election and allowing him to stay in power indefinitely. And it was about this time that Trump apparently became interested in an invasion. According to CNN, on August the 10th, Trump floated a full-scale invasion during a closed-door...
So his pretext is to save democracy. Is that the pretext because of Maduro's authoritarian measures? This is nonsense. This is fucking bullshit. He's more likely to announce a heel turn on Putin. Heel turn. Get it? Because that's how Putin would see it.
Meeting discussing America's Venezuela policy, only to be talked out of it by his then National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster, on the grounds that it could backfire and was widely opposed by America's regional allies. Nonetheless, a day later, on August the 11th, Trump said he, quote, wasn't going to rule out a military option when it came to Venezuela, and White House spokespeople continued to insist that, quote, all options were on the table throughout his first term.
Is Rubio used to be a big advocate for intervening in Venezuela, but was that for cartels or U.S. warships heading to Venezuela? Transnational organized crime. Okay, dude.
Obviously, this didn't happen, and the Trump administration instead pursued a policy of so-called maximum pressure, offering a $15 million reward for any information leading to Maduro's arrest, imposing massive sanctions and refusing to recognize Maduro as the legitimate president. This didn't really work, insofar as Maduro didn't step down or make any meaningful concessions, and towards the end of his term, Trump ratcheted up the rhetoric, telling Fox News in May 2020 that, quote, "If we ever did anything with Venezuela, I wouldn't send a small little group. No. It would be called an army." During the presidential election campaign later that year, there were reports that Marco Rubio, who was a senator at the time but has since become Trump's Secretary of State, suggested an invasion during at least 2 meetings with senior White House officials. And John Bolton, who was Trump's national security advisor between 2018 and 2019, published a book wherein he claimed Trump said that invading would be, quote, "cool," because Venezuela is apparently, in Trump's words, really part of the United States.
Oh, okay.
At the time, Bolton...
I guess when you look at it that way, that's not even an invasion, is it? That's just a security op. The fuck?
Bolton's allegations felt somewhat far-fetched, but they feel more plausible in light of Trump's annexationist rhetoric towards Canada and Greenland early in his second term. Once Trump had left office, reports emerged that, in 2019, he'd tried to coordinate an invasion with Argentina's then-president Mauricio Macri, with Argentinian special forces supporting a US-led multinational force. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, also claimed that Trump had talked to his predecessor, Ivan Duque, about invading Venezuela via Colombia, and in 2020...
Now, I know Colombia and Venezuela have had a fairly rough history with each other, but I don't know if that's still ongoing. Obviously, lots of Venezuelan refugees are in Colombia. What's their relationship like now? Colombia, Venezuela relations. Diplomatic ties restored in 2022.
Right. Trump said, quote, "When I left, Venezuela was about..."
Oh yeah, what the fuck happened with Guyana? With Venezuela trying to claim land? Did that happen? I don't even
collapse. We would have taken over it. We would have kept all that oil. For context, Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves, but oil production in the country has been hampered by chronic political and economic turmoil, which has in turn been exacerbated by massive US sanctions, plus the fact that Venezuelan crude is particularly heavy and thus more difficult to process. Unsurprisingly, most people expected Trump to take a hardline stance on Venezuela again in his second term, and originally it looked like things were heading in that direction. Tensions spiked in January when Maduro suggested that Venezuela, with the help of Brazil, should invade Puerto Rico, an unincorporated territory and self-governing commonwealth of the US, in order to, quote, "liberate its people." A few days later, Axios reported that Trump's team was planning on pursuing a policy of regime change in Venezuela, in large part because they blamed Maduro and his chronic mismanagement for the massive migration outflows Venezuela has experienced in recent years. For context, some 8 million people, roughly a quarter of Venezuela's population, have fled Maduro's regime in the past decade, with many of them going to the US. Somewhat surprisingly, though, there was then a period of relative calm, and in July it looked like relations might be on the up after the two countries completed a large-scale prisoner swap with the help of El Salvador, and the Trump administration gave Chevron, an American oil company, the green light to resume oil production inside Venezuela. However, in the past few weeks, tensions have skyrocketed. This all kicked off in early August, when the US increased the reward on Maduro to $50 million, having previously accused him of heading up the Cartel of the Suns, a Venezuelan crime syndicate recently designated by the US as a terrorist group. In response, Maduro's foreign minister Ivan Hill dismissed the announcement as an attempt to distract from Trump's Epstein-related woes, and Maduro himself dared Trump to arrest him in a nationally televised speech. Then, last week, the US deployed 3 warships along with around 4,500 soldiers, including 2,200 Marines, to an area off the coast of Venezuela, nominally to counter drug cartels. This apparently sparked some anxiety inside Venezuela that the US was preparing an invasion, and on Friday, Maduro called on ordinary Venezuelans to enlist in national militias to defend against the, quote, imperialists. On Monday, Reuters then reported that the US was deploying additional assets to the region, prompting Venezuela to deploy 15,000 troops to regions along the Colombia-Venezuela border and open talks with Colombia's defense ministry. So, could it actually happen? Could Trump actually invade Venezuela? Well, to be honest, no, almost definitely not. For starters, while 4,500 troops might sound like a lot, it's nowhere near enough for an invasion. Venezuela is a large country, with a population of about 30 million people, and in 2018, the Council on Foreign Relations assessed that an American military intervention in Venezuela...
I am starting to wonder if there is some kind of method to him just constantly threatening to capture pieces of the world, because I wonder just how much of it is the fact that it kind of just gives people something to talk about while he actually does real foreign policy damage, which is like his green lighting fucking Israel for everything, and his Gaza Riviera, and his failure to achieve anything with Russia and Ukraine. Right? I think probably the Russia-Ukraine thing, because we're on like the 5th 2-week warning now to Putin to stop firing, and obviously nothing's happened. Like, people are eventually going to catch on to that. I know that the entire English-speaking world now is just a fucking nation of doom scrollers, but people still have some memory, right? They can still figure these things out, that you're given a few too many 2-week warnings here, and it's starting to look like a massive epic failure.
Would require at least 100,000 troops and would most likely end in, quote, disaster. It's worth comparing this to previous US interventions in South America. The 1983 invasion of Grenada, for instance, which had a population of just 100,000 people, involved over 7,000 troops, while the 1989 invasion of Panama, which had a population of about 2 million people, involved some 30,000 troops, some of whom were already in position because the US already controlled the Canal Zone. Similarly, a limited strike looks unlikely, because, well, it's not really clear.
I'm sorry, I'm not humoring this story. I mean, it's good that people can just spend half an hour or 10 minutes or 15 minutes saying, yeah, Trump said this, then he said this, then he said this, probably nothing happened. I'm not playing that game. Fuck that. We're not learning about Venezuela. Fuck that. Fuck that. If we deep dive into another potential future conflict, it's probably going to be China-Taiwan, right? That's more what I'm... There's only so much space in the brain. Please, fuck Venezuela. Nothing happens, ever.
Okay.
Every leftist video, ever.
Okay, before we start, I just want to point out that I'm not going to name any names.
Why has he got a mic attached to the mic? Okay.
In this video, and I'm not trying to attack anyone. I don't hate the people who do this, and in many ways I actually admire it. So if you do recognize any of what I'm talking about today, don't send any hate to these people. I do not condone that, and there's no way that any of this is worth anyone feeling attacked. Okay, obviously this relates to a lot of dark topics. I suppose that just comes with the territory of talking about politics, especially these days. But you know, I can't personally speak to the full extent of everything going on in the world. I must fully acknowledge that I'm a privileged white guy in a relatively wealthy nation and stable financial situation. And I don't want to give the impression that I'm speaking on behalf of anyone in a more vulnerable or personally affected position than me. In fact, there are a lot of creators and voices online who deal with these things much more directly than I do, and so I would actually encourage you to check them out. Okay. First up, I just want to point out that I'm not an expert in any of this. Sure, I watch a lot of YouTube, but I'm not a media theorist.
No. When does a fucking leftist video essayist ever say that? I'm not the expert. They might say that and then go on to say how the actual experts are retarded or something. There's no way. What the fuck?
Or a political analyst. I've not done any major research or data sampling to back up the trends that I'm talking about. This is a mostly anecdotal and subjective take on the way I see certain areas of the online media landscape these days. So, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, and definitely don't base your opinions purely on what I have to say. Okay. The trend that I'm talking about today is by no means universal, and not everyone does it. In fact, many of the most popular YouTubers in the space don't do it at all. It mainly seems to be a habit of much smaller creators and communities, and so, again, I don't want to seem like I'm hating on them. I don't know their situation or what they're going through, and so I don't want to be too judgmental. But it is something that I've noticed and I would like to talk about. I just think there's a risk that pointing it out to specific people could potentially exacerbate the problem. Oh, yeah. Okay, I just want to remind you guys that this is just my opinion. It's okay to disagree with me, but please don't be hateful in the comments. I'm happy to keep discussing the issue, but there's no reason to be mean about it. Otherwise, I'm super keen to hear your constructive criticism, any suggestions for future videos, or anything you think I left out. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, this wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Whatever, dude. Not bad, just not really my thing. Joe Tricky. 1K subscribers. Oh, he's just getting started. Okay. Sound design. What does this guy do? Sound design walkthrough. Coffee sounds. Oh, he's like a sound artist. Is that what he is? Is that what's going on here? Search bar. Oh, is he made a beat out of the search bar? Is that what's happening here?
Why does this damn thing move about like that?
No, okay.
Just keep it still where you want it.
Back in my day, we built things to be sturdy. Not like this rubbish.
It's a film or like a...
Okay. Yeah, let's do your shopping. Move the mouse.
Move the what?
What a well-timed mute. Oh my god, you guys didn't even hear that sneeze. Holy shit. You probably just saw my face go funny.
The mouse, Reg. Open this.
Can't call me dad, you know.
Okay, it's like a sketch. Sound design.
Hey, I'm Joe. I'm the editor for the YouTube channel Answer in Progress.
Oh.
On there we do a lot of
editor.
animated explainer segments. Sabrina's the one who does the animations, but
he's an editor for a big channel.
Mental impacts of trying to keep servers cool. So let's just watch it with the sound design now.
Yeah, sound design, let's go.
ASMR, 10 minutes.
Oh, he just went over it. Wow. Cool. That's so cool. Okay, whatever. Good for him.